Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Peace of Mind Planner for End of Life. My name is Suzanne O'Brien. Thank you so much for joining me on this free webinar. I absolutely feel that it is so important for us to share knowledge and information in areas that we have it. And for those of you who don't know who I am a registered nurse who has worked most of my nursing career in hospice care and or oncology, which is cancer, the end of life area, and with our elders with end of life. And maybe a lot of you are aware that we have really a crisis before us dealing with this thing called death. So we're very challenged on many levels, and I have worked for years now being an end-of-life doula, creator and founder of Doula Givers. That has been just an incredible experience, teaching people how to care for those at end of life, family members, training end-of-life doulas to do that work. But one of the things that has always sat with me, and something that I've really tried to help dramatically from being as bad as the situation is right now, really finding that people are not preparing at all for end of life. We don't know what it looks like. So again, the level one doula givers is teaching people how to actually care for those they love at the end of life when there's a terminal diagnosis. But a big part of a good end of life is preparing for it while you are healthy, while you also can capitalize on wonderful wisdom from those at end of life about what the life's journey is about, and how to make the most out of it. And of course, at the end of life, what preparations make that so much better. So, what really brought this to the forefront for me is that I do a lot of free education and seminars and things of that nature. And I run a death cafe in New York City. And I have incredible people who come, 60s, 70s, even their 80s. And then, of course, we have some younger people too. But the common theme and palpable that I was hearing was fear about end of life in all different sections. So some people would have a terrifying fear of what physically is going to happen to them at end of life. Some were really fearful about what is going to happen to all their belongings because they have no family. Some are wondering who will know how to honor my wishes at the end of life. Who is going to follow through with that? And a lot of these were, again, things that people are walking around on a daily basis with this fear, and especially as they increase in their years, coming closer to a time period that end of life is a reality. Of course, we know that it's not just as we get older that end of life strikes people in their younger years as well, but for the majority, if we're lucky enough, we can live full lives and have that end of life. So people, as they are reaching their elder years, are thinking a lot about this, and it's causing them so much fear and upset and disease. So what I have done is literally put together a peace of mind planner that will cover all of the areas of end of life that are of major concern and that also are a factor in your journey, and how you can have them prepared, again, subjectively. This is about you and your choices and your journey to empower you. And so, I've been with over 1,000 people and their families at the end of life, and that's a really wonderful, sacred, privileged place to be. I have seen so much, I have learned so much, and unfortunately, I've seen a lot of things that do not go well. And so this course is going to share with you, while you still are able and while you can empower yourself with this knowledge, to bring peace of mind to something that is a natural part of our journey, but in a practical way, the things that you really want to think about, what's important to you, and make sure that they are put in writing somewhere and that your loved ones know about them so that you can have the best end of life experience possible. Not only for you, this is also a big part for your family. a huge part for your family. So we're going to go through the different categories of what are the major concerns and what you can do to empower yourself. So my name is Suzanne O'Brien. I'm a registered nurse, really one of the pioneers in the end-of-life doula movement and an advocate for end-of-life doula and aging change, the positivity of it. And tonight you are taking part in the Peace of Mind Planner for End of Life. Welcome, welcome. So welcome to the free Peace of Mind Planner. I always really want to start out with saying welcome and congratulations, because I really thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be part of a webinar learning about something that happens to be the second leading fear in this country. So death is the second leading fear in this country, and that fear literally has made the end of life 1,000 times more complicated and with suffering than needs to be. So we're going to really get in here and uncover and talk about the reality of that and how things can be so much better. So I wrote, to befriend death is the only way to truly know life. You know, there are so many things that I have learned throughout the years from my patients and families and doing this work. And again, it's such a sacred area of care, and I'm so privileged and honored to be a part of these journeys with people. It has taught me more about life. Working with end of life, working for hospice, when I started working for hospice, has made me feel more alive than I ever have. So that statement might make you say, well, what does she mean by that? Because I was thinking about this, and I think coming to a point where you're working with people who are at the end of their life's journey, and you walk out of those homes and out of your, experience with them with such an appreciation of every little thing that you have in your life that you're still able to engage in. The fact that I can walk out of their home and walk to my car and drive in my car. There's a certain point in our journey that those are not options for us anymore. We start to really not sweat the small stuff when you really highlight all the little miracles that we have. And so you seem to start to be in a perpetual state of gratitude, which when you are in a place of gratitude, and when you're in a place of gratitude for a lot of your day, most of your day, life is good. Life is great. It's magical. And I feel like at end of life, that is the gift that working in that space reminds you of, being in the moment, the little things, forgiveness, and all of the things we're going to talk about tonight. That's really important, again, to focus on for a great end of life. But what we want to be aware of now. These are things that we can incorporate now, and they will make your life that much more rich because you will be more present. So again, to befriend death and to know that one day this journey as we know it will be over is the only way to really have that true value and beauty of life. So for us to pretend again that, we just don't talk about death, that it's just such a mess right now. It's contributing, in my opinion, it is contributing, and a major factor contributing to so much of the dysfunction all over in the world, because we're living in this instant gratification, this very ego-centered, about me, how much can I get, give me power plays, and we have really lost our way. And I'll share with you in one of the sections tonight about the spiritual component of end of life, how you might find it very interesting what people at the end of life will share about the perspective that they have about what the life's journey was about. So there's so much beauty in just the knowledge and awareness that death will be a part of our journey. So again, that is my statement there, and I hope I explained it in a very loving, supportive way, that you really will have a much better life's journey when you know and are aware that one day it won't be the way that we know it today. So planning ahead, this is what is so exciting to me, is that planning ahead can make an overall end of life experience overall better by 80 to 90%. So those averages are so high that I'm in. I am going to, again, I was thinking today, I love free education, and I love, again, to share information that I know that can literally change a person and their family's experience for the better. So I am committed to share all of what I know. And so, doula givers, I really feel that doula givers now is free education for positive change. So we have a couple of different trainings that we offer, and the Peace of Mind Planner is for individuals. So it's for the individual who wants to, again, learn what they can do to put together everything that they need to know for a positive end of life. And because planning ahead leads to 80 to 90% of a better end of life experience, no matter what your disease, this is so important, no matter what your disease process is, if you've planned, if you've done your paperwork, if you've put things in place, if you've, shared the forgiveness that we're going to talk about, if you have talked about the power of your authentic journey and really fulfilling your purpose, by 80 to 90%, when you get to the end of life, it is better no matter what disease process it is. And those are some really good percentages. So we want to be out here and share with everyone. Okay. So that's no matter what the disease process is. The second point to that was the many, many, many mistakes and pain and suffering that I've witnessed from families over and over and over again. I just have to get out on an educational platform and say, this is what doesn't work. This is what does work. It's your choice, but I want people to know that they have choices that they can make. And by not doing anything for planning ahead, for even your advance directive, for not doing anything for decision making, puts you into what's called a default. And so when you go into a default, then it is going to be pretty much a train wreck. A lot of mistakes are made. A lot of regrets are made with different choices, because when we're in crisis, and that's not just for the person, but it's really for the family as well. When somebody is in crisis of end of life, we never can make solid, clear choices in that space. So things really need to be talked about and made beforehand, before somebody is faced with a terminal diagnosis. So unfortunately, I have witnessed so much pain and suffering that really didn't need to be there. Yes, there's always going to be a huge component of sorrow when we're saying goodbye to somebody that we love for so long. But these added things, by not having people's wishes, or just not having anything in order, create so much of a dysfunctional dynamic. Not to mention the grieving and bereavement after somebody dies. Most families, if they haven't been prepared, are dealing with all of the paperwork and bills and cleaning out the house and trying to do all of the practical things that really, really interrupt a grieving process. So there are also families that are full of regrets and pain. So many have come to me and said, if I had taken your class ahead of time before my mother got sick, I wish I had known this. I wouldn't have done it this way. I would have done it this other way. I always say, we can't go back. We can share with other people what we know. And a lot of what we learn is from the hard way, is from what doesn't work. And so, sharing with somebody else your experience and what you would advise them to do, or making sure people, do their advanced directives and their planning ahead of time, is huge. So, of course, regrets are a huge thing. And again, the amount of pain that comes with regret sometimes, like there are people that, again, come to some of my seminars that are carrying so much pain with them for decades, that some of them will probably never process and get through. But let's hope that they do. And of course, let's do whatever we can to help people not get in that space. Peace of Mind Planner. So this course, this is an overview of the course. It has 5 different categories for peace of mind at the end of life. This is the feedback. This is what Every one of my emails, my outreach, my students that come to classes, seminars, this is what they are asking, and it's combined with, again, what I have seen with clients. So what I want to say to you is that we're going to go through the 5 different categories. I will give you a few of the tools for each of the category to bring peace of mind in that category. And you can obviously take all of the advice. You can, again, some people, again, the spiritual peace of mind, that's not to do with religion. That has nothing to do with religion, which we'll talk about when we get there. It's an overall spiritual energy because you are a holistic being. A lot of us identify ourselves as that physical person that we are, but if you really want to get into physics and science and even the medical arena, we'll talk about holistic beings, holistic care. And so this is so very true, and it's so very important to understand this for ourselves right now, but especially at end of life, because there's so many things that bubble up in each of these categories for people that they need to find closure with and peace with, but we want to do it ahead of time. So we're going to have 5 categories. One is the physical peace of mind. The second one is the mental peace of mind. Your third is emotional peace of mind. The fourth is financial peace of mind. And the fifth is spiritual peace of mind. So these are all of the things that will be needing to be addressed for you for the end of life. And really, it's the 4 of them. I mean, financial, I hope that you have a good situation that you're comfortable with what you're doing right now. But the 4 are really holistically how you live today, here and now. So you have your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual part of what makes you. And remember, real health and wellness is the balance of all of those. So tonight we're going to really talk about what you need to know at end of life for those, but I want you to kind of, walk away with this information too, that this will help you today. Physical peace of mind. What does that mean when we're talking about end of life? So in those 5 different categories, we're going to talk about different things that will bring you peace of mind to do with that particular category. So right now we're going to talk about the physical peace of mind. So I'm talking about your body. I'm talking about your being, your physical being. So let's talk about what those things that you can do to bring physical peace of mind, what the questions might be that you need to address. So physical peace of mind is addressing all aspects of physical needs for care at the end of life. That's one piece. So very important for you to think about, where would you want to be cared for if you were at the end of life? If you had a terminal diagnosis, what would be the first and best choice that you would like to be in, and who would you like to care for you at the end of life? And these, again, are things that need to be addressed ahead of time. Now, I will tell you that most people, 9 out of 10 people, will say they want to be home. They want to be in their surroundings. And if you do a moment to take an inventory yourself, you probably will pick the same thing. We are comfortable in our homes. We are around our familiar surroundings. We have our mementos there. We have even maybe a pet there. So that's a really big thing. Now, at the end of life, there are special arrangements that need to be made many times for that to be done, and done effectively and done well, with the supporting your family and making sure that you have the needs, because most people have not taken care of somebody at the end of life. So this is really important, because if that's where you would like to be, we want to discuss that. We want to discuss that with your family and see what it would take to actually make that possible. So addressing all aspects of physical needs for care at the end of life. Number 2, addressing all aspects of physical needs at the time of death and after death. Now, I want to really share with you that we are in a completely safe and loving, supportive community right here. That I know that some of you, when I'm talking about these questions, again, talking about at the time of death, your physical need, it could kick up some fear and things of being uncomfortable. And that's perfectly natural. I want to really share with you that we're in a supportive, loving, safe environment here. And I have been with so many people at the end of life that it's really important for us to know the truth about what end of life looks like, how that goes, and what can make that really comfortable, and what's needed to support one another through that. So this is a beautiful conversation and training because it will save you now being a little uncomfortable and working through that, because I promise you, you will feel really empowered at the end of this. Will save you and your family from 1,000 times more pain at the end when you don't prepare and you don't have these discussions. So I just wanted to share that. So addressing again physical needs at the time of death and after death. So for me, it's talking about where and what that looks like. So let's say you're at home and so you are in your bedroom, okay? What do you really want that to look like? I have a wonderful woman who I have been, in touch with, and we do some sponsorship things around the city. I want to say she's 88. And she has everything down to like the final little everything about what she wants for how she wants when she is at her aging terminal diagnosis type of where she wants to be, who she wants to care for her, what she wants to be dressed in after she dies, who she wants there, what she wants done with all her stuff. I mean, literally to the point that you go to her apartment and she has like little tags on things. She's really prepared and she's picked out everything. And you know what? It brings her tremendous peace of mind. And it brings her friends and family peace of mind because they don't have to guess. They don't have to do the guessing work of trying to decide what she would want, which I don't think we ever 100% are sure. And we shouldn't have to be under the burden of that. So, there's just so many, again, positive things about that. So again, she's 88 and, she has done this and she is a pioneer in sharing the importance of doing it and how great everyone feels that she's done it. So the time of death, some people would like some beautiful stories told about them. Some people, would like to do a special bathing and dressed in a special outfit, and having people maybe even do some prayers or whatever it is. It's your time and it's your experience, and this should not be rushed. I can't emphasize enough how the death experience should not be rushed. As far as all these statistics, as far as bereavement and grieving, the ritual with end of life, taking the time to honor that person, to care for them when they're not even living in their body anymore. These are all things that have been proven to have such a positive effect on the grieving time after. And, we're not grieving and doing that correctly at all at this point. And part of it is that we don't prepare, talk about, and we rush all of this process. So we want for you to decide and explore what would be something that you would want. And again, who you would want there, what you would want dressed, the music, whatever comes to mind. It is your decision and you can have whatever you want. Number 3, addressing all aspects of physical needs for disposition of your body. I couldn't find another great word for that, which I'll look for, but disposition means where you'd like to go. So after that you have died, would you like to have a natural burial, which is the big thing right now, and it's such a wonderful option, although people can choose whatever they want to choose. What my whole point is for things is to make educated, informed, subjective choices. So that's where I come in doing a lot of education, because people don't know they have choices. They don't know what things mean. And this is really a major part of what we need to be discussing so that people can make the right choice for them. So Natural burial is a really big option right now. It's a beautiful option as far as, environmentally, spiritually, financially. It is really positive on all those levels. Then there's also, obviously, cremation is an option. And then there is the way that people have been having end of life, which is, how do I say this without, so the way that it has been going with a lot of people having the embalming, which is the fluid, it's just a whole process. And then, going into caskets, going down into cemeteries. Sometimes the caskets are not, they're sold, they're guaranteed that they won't break down. There's a lot more thought that needs to go into the choices that we have for disposition, and also, whose choice is this? This is your choice. So I want us to know that you can have your journey however you would like it, but there are many, many different options. And again, let's be honest, that cost, the reality of financial part of this, is something that needs to be discussed, and we need to explore what is the best for you and what options that you have. So again, physical peace of mind, those are three of the things that I'll point out right now, talking about and addressing the care and what you would want to attach to all things physical with your end of life process. Mental peace of mind. So what does that mean? So remember, the foundation of you have four bodies of energy: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so if you go ahead and look that up in physics and all of that, they talk about these separate bodies of energy. And I'm not going to get too far into that, but I want you to know that you have so much more than just the physical component and just the mental component, which most people think. You have literally different bodies of energy that are you, that need to be addressed and nurtured. Each one has its own needs, and need for nurturing. To again be in perfect balance is to be aware of each and to be healthy in each body of energy. So the mental category in the Peace of Mind Planner will be covering aspects to do with your mental needs and your ability to find acceptance at the end of life. Now, acceptance is a huge part of end of life when we get that terminal diagnosis, when we know that we're there. The mental peace of mind planning can be divided into three sections. So let me just share with you that, we go through stages, and some people unfortunately don't move through the stages. Ideally, for a really positive end of life, you move through all three phases of end of life. And the first is that fear that this is the moment. I'm getting a terminal diagnosis. I'm literally being given a time period that I have left. So there is a natural way that if the person is supported and we can get, great, people around them and caring and whatnot, you can move again into that place of acceptance, stabilization, and then there's other elements to work through. But it's a really big piece to work with that fear and that acceptance of an end of life. And I'll tell you, the key here is that you live with the awareness. Again, when you befriend death, you will live your life with so much, again, more presence, but you will also always, in the back of your mind, know that one day we will have an end of life. So when it shows up, because we know 100% it's going to show up at some point, we just don't know when and what that looks like. And we know this for all of us, for everyone. It will not be the shock, not be the complete denial that's happening right now. It'll be, oh, okay, this is my time. You will have to work through things, I'm sure, but it will be so much less of a huge impact than it is right now, because you have lived with the awareness that will be a natural part of one part of your life's journey. So what do we address in the Peace of Mind Planner for the mental peace of mind? Number one, the fear. So we talk about, and again, I ideally love to do this with people now, before we're faced with a terminal diagnosis, because I will tell you that when you are in crisis, when end of life is in front of you and knocking at your door, you cannot make clear decisions and you cannot have the safety feeling to be able to explore these things because you're in a state of crisis. So the fear associated with death is the second leading fear in the United States. I mean, that just boggles my mind. Second leading fear. And I have seen it. It is huge, and it is with most people. So really in the course, we want to explore and we want to share and we want to address and uncover any fear associated with death that you may have. And a lot of times we can trace this back to negative experiences that people have had with end of life. A lot of times when they're children or seeing somebody suffer. And this is, again, what I'm seeing in my seminars is people coming who are holding on to really terrible end of lives that they witnessed, and they just can't shake them. And they think that they just are so fearful that that will happen to them. So we want to really go there, and we want to talk about what's available today and the truth about the death experience and what that looks like and how that is. Number two, truth. This is really important. The ability to live your life authentically and true to who you are. I will share with you, because that's a huge part in that acceptance that you're at the end of this journey as we know it, is if you have lived your truth, if you have lived with your purpose, with that passion. The number one regret of dying patients, I'll share with you, the number one regret of dying patients is that they wish they had had the courage to live the life they knew they were meant to live. That's really powerful, and I want you to really digest that, because you can really capitalize on this now. The number one fear of dying patients, the number one regret, was that they wish that they had had the courage to live the life that they knew they were destined to live. But we're all influenced by, people, culture, and, people telling us what we should be doing, and, get the degree and get the big house and get the job and marry the perfect person. And are we living from our truth, or are we living what other people are telling us we should do and be? So there's no judgment. We really go into in the course, the full course, we really go into this so deep, because it's uncovering about life, and it's really uncovering about what your life's journey is about, and how to find your alignment with your highest self, which is when you click into that, you are in a magical place. So again, living your truth and being honest with what's important to you and your authentic being. Number three, service. Are you living a life of passion, purpose, and service? And of course, this doesn't mean that you have to quit your job today and go out and join the Salvation Army or UNICEF or do whatever, even though, yeah, those are really great things. But we all are connected, and we all should be contributing something, even if it's a kind word. We are so separate right now, and we are just all on our phones, and we're so not present, that you're passing by people on the street. There's opportunities for you to extend a little bit of kindness, or do something just even small that can make a huge difference in someone else's experience, and it connects us. It connects us to the energy of oneness that we really are all a part of. So when people become middle-aged and in their latter years, there is a organic, natural direction that people start to focus a bit more on contributing, making a difference. What can I do to, as not necessarily thinking legacy, but what can I do that gives back? And so you'll see this, and this is, again, one of the most important things in our life's journey is becoming connected to something more than yourself. And again, when you have done some volunteer work, you always say that you get more than you give. And I'm talking about doing even the simplest thing by doing saying something nice to somebody on the street. It can be that simple, but really thinking of that. So the fear, the truth, and the service, mental peace of mind, especially the first two, because that's work that you want to do internally. The third is some really great advice and wisdom that will really make a huge difference in your journey. The emotional peace of mind. So the emotional category in the Peace of Mind Planner will be covering all aspects to do with your emotional needs and your ability to be at peace with them at the end of life. The emotional Peace of Mind planning will be divided into 3 sections. Number 1, unresolved issues. Number 2, emotional trauma. And number 3, forgiveness. So I will share with you that pain at the end of life, is something that we really have to know how to treat. But I will also share with you that some of the most painful parts of end of life that can present as physical pain is the emotional pain that people are carrying. It's all of the unresolved issues. It's the regrets. It's the things that just didn't have closure, and they all start bubbling to the top. So when you work with people at end of life, it's really can be very, very complicated to help people find the peace and closure with these issues so that they can leave and have that actual end of life peace be completely beautiful, or one that's not when they're struggling. So this is, again, probably the biggest issue at end of life. It's not the actual physical decline. It's the emotional issues and trauma and unforgiveness, things that we're holding on to, guilt, anger, all of those that people are not addressing, that they have so much pain because this is end of life and there's going to be no other time to resolve it except for now. So there's a lot to that. So let's just talk for a minute that we all have these issues. We all have unresolved things that we're, kind of pushed down or not dealing with. And the forgiveness, if you walk away with a few things that I want to highlight tonight, the forgiveness. Forgiveness will change your life. And forgiveness at the end of life makes the complete difference between an end of life that goes beautifully, sacred and well, and one that does not. So I don't want to wait for people to be at end of life to have to work through forgiveness, because we don't always have that opportunity. We don't always have that close bond that somebody's feeling comfortable with it. They might not physically be able to go there because of wherever they are in their disease process. And we might just not have the time. So I want us to really know that forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. So very, very important that you understand the importance of forgiveness will change everything for your whole. And it's like, okay, so think about having a backpack of 30-pound weights that you are carrying and you're walking uphill constantly. That's what unforgiveness is. We work through forgiveness, and it's not just a word, it's a technique. We have to go there. We have to learn the techniques for finding ways to release and forgive. But it's when you do, it's like taking off that 30-pound backpack of weight, putting it down, and going down with the river, with the stream, flowing with it. Which one do you choose? Most of us are walking uphill with a backpack. So if you think about it in terms like that, let's take off those backpacks and live the best life possible. Financial peace of mind. This is so important because, again, I've seen so many mistakes and regrets with people who did not plan ahead or have information, and they spent so much money or lost so much money with not having their paperwork done, just to mention the stress about it. But financially, again, planning ahead about what your wishes might be and choices for what you would like at end of life can save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm going to, in the course, go into several different areas of financial peace of mind. So just to share with you some alarming statistics, and again, this is, really what I see all the time in my work. In 2014, the American Journal of Preventative Medicine found that 74% of adults have no health care proxy, living will, or advance directive. 74%, and only 42% have a will. Please remember that if you do not choose to put things in place and order, it will be chosen for you as a default, and that will go probably terribly wrong, very expensive, and just a whole mess. So I'm going to teach you in this course how to do the paperwork and get set up. You don't need an attorney. Most people will say, well, I have to pay for an attorney to do the will. I'm going to show you a really easy way in the course to do it. And again, it will save you, first of all, the peace of mind is priceless, but what you will learn will save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, just learning what you need to do and where you can get that done. So financial peace of mind consists of the advance directive. Some people don't know what that is. So that is a document that says what you would like or not like at the end of life for care. And it consists of a living will, which are, again, your choices of what you choose or not choose under certain circumstances, and your healthcare proxy, the person that you choose to speak your wishes that you have already decided for you in the case that you can't speak for yourself. We also will go over the POST forms. That is a physician's order of life-sustaining treatment. That is a legal document, and it is a medical order. We go over wills and trusts. We talk about the after-death plan. We put that together. We talk about financial peace of mind plan or checklist, what you need to know and what you have to have in order or should have in order, and things that you might not have thought about. And then we also have a valuable resource link for you for all of the ways to get these things done. And again, for very, very little money. So those are all things that we cover in the financial peace of mind. And again, there are things in here, especially with the wills and trusts, the after-death plan, your advance directive, that will save you so much peace of mind with not having to make decisions after the fact. And also, when you're clearly thinking, you have the potential of saving thousands to tens of thousands of dollars with the choices that you make. And most people, when they know they have a choice, they tend to choose some really great things that feel right to them and that actually come out to be a lot less expensive. Spiritual peace of mind. So the spiritual peace of mind is one of the things that I share with people, because death is the second leading fear, and I understand, and most people have not seen anyone at end of life. They don't know the first thing about end of life because we just don't talk about it. When I share the wisdom, when I share stories from wonderful patients at the end of life, they tend to look at their whole life's journey, and they get this, what I call this spiritual wisdom that comes about before they die. And they share what they feel the life's journey was about. It is incredible. And the thing that was really striking me was that different religions, different cultures, different places in the world, they were saying the same things. So if somebody is sharing with me and they have absolutely no reason to try and convince me of anything, when they're just sharing what they feel in their heart, and a lot of, again, this sharing was done with such peace and serenity and optimism and almost excitement at times, I'm really taking note and listening. So the spiritual peace of mind is something that I think, again, people were all searching. We're wondering. It's really funny because at the last the group that I did, the last one, we're all saying, well, I hope that this happens, when I die. I hope that there's, a heaven or whatever they were saying. It was really funny. And I said, well, none of us are going to know that for sure until we actually get there. And so, we're all laughing about it, but everyone is looking again for that comfort, for something to bring them peace, that they don't have to be so fearful. So when we share these wonderful words of wisdom from people who are going through it, people who are at the place of end of life, what they feel that it meant, what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what It's amazing and it's beautiful and it's not fearful. In fact, it can be the very opposite. So let's just share with you the spiritual peace of mind, what that means to explore. So it means that we'll go into what is spirituality. So spirituality is not a religion. It's a way of thinking in terms of an energy of, it's, people call it oneness, God, you can call it consciousness. So we'll talk about the definition of spirituality. It's not a religion. Again, it's spirituality. It's a part of you. Whether you believe in anything or you don't, you have a spiritual body of energy that is a fact, that is science, and it's important for you to know that. When you resonate with nature, when you're out in nature and you feel that connection, when you feel connections with animals, when you feel connections, hopefully, with other people, when you have empathy, compassion, that's a spiritual body of energy, and it's so important and beautiful, but we'll explore what that means. Why is it important? Well, it's important, I think, for you to know that there is one, but it's also important because your religion, when people have them, a lot of people are finding their way back to religions that they might have been associated with, or they're seeking out new ways of connecting and answers to the big question about life. So why is it important? Because it can bring you tremendous comfort. In fact, people who do find that, who are connected as their body declines, it brings them incredible comfort, almost to a place that is better than they've ever been. And when we'll share that, because as your physical body is what I call stepping back or deteriorating, your spiritual body of energy is really coming forward. And that brings people to know that their being is as strong and beautiful as ever, really create some magical moments, not only for them, but for their family. So it's important to connect with or explore that if you so choose to. And what you can do to enhance your spiritual peace of mind. So we go into techniques to do that and explore again the wisdom of those at the end of life, what they're sharing, because it really has brought a lot of peace to a lot of people when I share that. So the Peace of Mind Planner, the course, the objectives for that course is to be able to fully understand each of the 5 categories of end of life, and to be able to identify and make subjective decisions for peace of mind in each of the 5 categories. This is about you. These are about your choices. No one else should be telling you what to do. You should be sitting with different information and deciding what is the right way for you. And at the end, to have your finished peace of mind PDF planner, wishes and paperwork done in all of the 5 categories for end of life. Each class consists of a pre-course self-assessment. So before you begin, you will literally sit down and take an assessment of where you are in the comfort level and the peace of mind in each category, an explanation of what each category is, why it's important, what you can do to ensure that peace of mind in each category, and questions to address for peace of mind in each of the 5 categories of end of life. Each class will consist of the homework worksheet for each category and a post self-assessment, so you can literally see where you were in the beginning of taking the course and where you were in the category at the end of the course. The goal is for you to have peace of mind. The goal is for you to be able to do this course, feel supported, empowered, make these choices, put things in place, and put it away. And put it away. So whenever end of life comes about, we have a blueprint, we have a template, and we have the bonus of living each day with that beauty and that gratitude that the awareness of end of life brings us. So I had done a seed launch of this. I had done a class in the very beginning to test it out. And this is what somebody had posted on a Facebook group. So I just wanted to share with you because it's really important to see what somebody else would say about this. So she says, and I love this, hello to all. I attended the Peace of Mind Planner webinar last night. The way Suzanne O'Brien has presented this awesome guide is absolutely a must for everyone, including us. So this is a group of end-of-life doula practitioners and students. So they have even a lot of information for end of life. So that was really incredible that she said that, and that's not the only person who commented like that who has thought they had a good handle on end of life, which I know many people do. Not even halfway through this session, I found myself crying, and it was quite a surprise to have that kind of reaction. There is so much detailed offering of information that fills in the gaps that we encounter along the journey towards death. Suzanne offered ideas and tools that we all need to give clarity for you and your family. As much as I thought I was prepared, I now realize that there are so many steps I omitted. Back to the drawing board, lots of additions will be added to the original Last Wishes binders I sent to my family and friends. Planning is a gift to yourself and your loved ones. Thank you, Suzanne. I can't wait for Wednesday night. So that was from Kathy Burdett, and we thank her so much for posting that. She didn't even tell me she posted that. This is super important because this is the actual course. So when you take the course, you're going to be brought through worksheets and trainings and exercises that are going to really uncover the exercises and the things you need to process and think about for the peace of mind in those categories. And that's where, when we are practitioners in this area and we know things, this really took it, I feel like, to the nth degree of what everything I could think of in each of those categories. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do each step. Like, let's just say spiritual body is not a part of what you're about, and you don't want to have any part of that part of it. That's absolutely fine. If you do the other 4, if you do 2 out of 4, if you do 3 out of 4, you're going to have so much of a better end of life for you and your family. But what I would hope is that you would really trust and enjoy, and I think most people do and did, the training, the whole training. And it was really fun, and it's great to see pre what you feel like and post after you take the exercises, trainings, and worksheets. So that's somebody who took the course, and I thank her again very much for sharing that. Thank you so much for taking time out to be on a webinar. It's my pleasure to take my time to teach you, and I really, again, applaud you for showing up with a topic that is something that is very uncomfortable for most people. So as a special thank you, we have sent you an invitation if you would like to take the full Peace of Mind Planner course. You can check your email inbox right now. We have sent you a special link for the planner course that's going to have a couple of things that are added to it. If you would like to take the course, you will get a discount for the actual course fee. The standard price of the course is $497, and with your discounted webinar special, we give it to you for $397. There's also a payment plan option. So you can do 3 divided monthly payments for $149. We wanted to make this available to everyone who would like to take it. It is so important that people have access to it. So if you'd like to take the course, you have the options again with the discount. We want to thank you for that. And then you can also do a payment plan. For the first 100 people who do sign up for this, I'm going to offer the forgiveness workshop for free. Forgiveness might be one of the most important things that I want you to walk away with tonight. Forgiveness and the power of forgiveness will change your whole life. And there's not one person I know that does not have forgiveness to give, and there's not one person that doesn't have forgiveness to receive. So I'm going to take you through a special forgiveness workshop that's going to give you the tools and techniques to find what you need to address as far as forgiveness for others, for self, so that we're not waiting till we're on our deathbed that we have to deal with this. And you know what? A lot of times it can't be done then, and it can't be done well. But if you are walking around with that 30-pound, maybe it's 40 pounds, maybe it's 50 pounds, of anger, of guilt, of resentment, This is about you. And when we can shift that energy, when we can get rid of it and change it, how much of a better every day moving forward that you have. And I'm going to give you the techniques to do that. So the first 100 people, we're going to give you the forgiveness workshop as a bonus. These discounts will be offered and valid till Sunday night at 12 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to answer your questions live. Please write them in the question box right now. I'm going to go to that next. So if you have any questions on it, we'll address them now. But know that if you'd like to take part in the full course, it will be the minute that you get it, that you purchase it, it's sent to you. So it's a self-paced course. It is 5 modules. It will be the 5 different areas of the peace of mind that you're going to get. You're going to get worksheets. You're going to get the PDF planner, and all of you will receive the forgiveness workshop as a bonus. Okay, let's do some questions. Let me see what we have here. I'm sorry, we just got to click there. I just wanted to move over that screen for a minute. So we have questions in the question box, and I do have to gently move that over. There we go. Okay. Is this part of the Specialist Doula course? Bridget, so this is not. This is a different course. The Doula Giver Specialist is for people who want to be practitioners. What I will say is that the Doula Giver Care Consultant, that's part of the Doula Giver Specialist course. We do allow you to use the Peace of Mind Planner with your clients at a reduced rate. So if you are in the specialist program, which I think that you are, we're going to discuss that, and I'm going to let you know about the Peace of Mind Planner to offer to your clients, because it's everything in one place. So you're that consultant that can walk through all of these different 5 categories with them and help them fill out all that work. But I'm sorry, but the course is not, this is for individuals. This is really, it's like an end-of-life doula course for the individual person, not a practitioner. So I'll talk about it in the training, but it's not part of the specialist training, I'm sorry. Hello, I got on late. Okay, I don't see the email yet, but wondering if you are sharing the presentation deck from the presentation. Many thanks. Sandra, I am going to share this with you. So what we're going to do is we are going to give you the replay in a follow-up email. So it has to be converted, and then it will be attached and sent back. The team will be doing that. I believe you will get the replay to this and a thank you tomorrow morning. So we will give you all the slides to it. When does the course begin? How often do they meet? So Karen, the course is a self-paced, self-study course. So when you take the Peace of Mind Planner, when you register and purchase it, you're going to automatically be sent the whole course, and you can work at your pace. So you can start it whenever you want, and you can work through whenever you want. We have support with our lead trainers that are available Monday through Friday if you have any questions, but it is designed as a self-paced course to do at your own time frame, and you get it right away. And Sandra says, thanks, you are so welcome. All right, well, that was the last question. No, I have another one. It is available in any other language other than English. That's a great question, Wendy. We do not have it available in another language yet, but our team at Doula Givers, because we have the international support and outreach with education, is that we have started to convert our trainings into other languages. So we've begun with Spanish and French, and I believe that we are starting on Chinese. So I think all of our trainings will start to be translated so that, again, we can support people in all different areas. I just, was teaching over in Thailand and giving trainings for the whole month of March to support people over there with end of life, and, working with translators and trying to, pick up as much as I can. But I have to share with you that the connection of oneness, of people getting together to be there for each other, whether you can speak the same language or not, when our hearts are aligned and our intention is aligned for the positive and to be supportive, is incredible. That energy is incredible. So that's just a little side note, but thank you for asking that. This course is not in other languages yet, but I'm sure that it will be in the future. Okay, if anyone else has a question, please type it in now. If not, You should have received an email in your inbox. If not, you will receive one shortly, and that will only be for webinar participants that you will get the special offerings. So if you'd like to take part in that, you're welcome, Wendy. Thank you. Hold on, more questions. I'm sorry. So if you'd like to take part in this and receive your discount or take advantage of that payment plan for the 3 months, please do click that link. And also, the forgiveness workshop is just a wonderful bonus, and I think all of us can probably benefit from that. Can we check in with each other because we might get bogged down? Karen, can we check? Karen, just let me make sure I'm understanding correctly. Would you like to have your own private group for Peace of Mind Planner participants? Let me know if that's kind of something that you're talking about, because we can easily do that. In fact, we do that with the other courses, so that might be a great idea, is to put together a Peace of Mind planner private group that people who have that, so that we can kind of be in and out of there checking in, and your questions can be posted and you can work with one another. Yes, maybe. Okay. All right, great. So yeah, and then of course I can also let people know who are taking it if they would like to be connected on a group email, that we can do that. We just need permission from people to be able to do that. But that's a really good idea, because I think that working through sometimes things together is really fun, and also it can open up things that you might not be thinking about individually. We do that with our training, and of course you can post anything on our Facebook pages at any time, but maybe just to have a Peace of Mind planning page might be the way to go. So I think I'm highly considering that. So thanks so much. Okay, that looks like the last question. All right, everyone, thank you so very much for being part of Peace of Mind Planner. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's webinar. I know that education is the key and the answer to everything. And so it's so important for us to be able to share with others the education that we have, and we all have something special that we can share with one another. So remember that, and remember, it's subjective decisions are yours to make and yours alone. Make sure that you get informed information to make the best choice for you. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic evening, and I hope to see you in class. Okay, good night, everybody.